So we are live.
Okay.
So, good evening, everyone.
Hi,
And
Yogesh.
Hi, and welcome to the fourth virtual roundtable webinar. And I'm so delighted to be moderating this session with the four stalwarts of the industry from all sides of the country. From East, we have Mr. Sanjeev Mehra, Vice President, Quest Mall. Hi, Sanjeev.
Hi.
And from South, we have Shibu Phillips, business head for Lulu Malls. Yeah, hi. And from West, we have Mr. Mukesh Kumar, CEO, Infinity Malls. Hi, Mukesh.
Hi, Yogesh. How are you doing?
And finally, we have from North, Mr. Arjun Gehlot, Director, Ambience Malls. Lovely malls in
Good
Delhi
evening.
and Gurgaon. Lovely.
Thank you, sir.
We have been discussing various issues on hand due to this COVID-19 situation, and enough theory has happened. So this panel has been selected who is hands-on and who knows theory as well as they're hands-on. They will implement the theory in the right spirit. Just to give you an introduction, SCAI Shopping Center Association of India was constituted in year 2008, almost 12 years, with the objective of enabling the flow of best practices of shopping centers around the world to bring them to India, because all said and done, Indian shopping center industry is relatively still new. And instead of we reinventing the wheel all the time, Mr. Amitabh Taneja, the chairman of SCAI, founded this non-profit organization, and he has been working hard along with his team members. Most of them are behind the scene. Mr. Roy, he works day in, day out to bring the best practices, and Mr. Amitabh Taneja. So thank you very much, SCAI, for putting this together. And especially in the last few weeks, if you notice, this unprecedented situation happened, and we all were on the loss of words, what to do, what not to do, and trying to figure out. But then the SCAI has come to the rescue, and they have put together such nice guidelines, how to open. They represented us, all the shopping center industry and retailers together to the government for various issues like state level issues, insurance issues, or going to the Prime Minister's office and telling our side of the story. So welcome all the participants as well as all the panelists to this special session of webinar. And let's do justice to the timing. In 1 hour 15 minutes, let's give our best and give some value for the money, the time we are all investing in it. Shall we start? Ready to go, Sanjeev?
Yes.
Yeah, Yogesh.
Yeah. Okay. So first question, Sanjeev, very briefly, what is the situation like in your shopping center in Calcutta, and how do you see the new normal?
Good evening, everybody. It's very tough times, and I think not since Adam and Eve have we seen the world come to a stoppage. So this is definitely unprecedented, especially for all of us in the shopping mall business and the retail business. This is unheard of. Before I go into what is going to be the norm, I just want to share with you what we have been through in the last 2 months. At Quest, we've had to keep the hypermarket open. It's been very difficult. We've literally had to work shoulder to shoulder with all the people at the hypermarket. The experience of people not being able to come to the mall to work. We've had to actually discipline all the people who come in. We've also had to stack shelves for them. So it's been very, very tough. But having worked shoulder to shoulder in the retail industry and in retail and then coming onto the shopping center, it's been very, very difficult times. And my heart goes out to all the migrant workers, and where we have not really thought for them. We are a very urbanized business, and these are the tough times for all of us. Now, as far as going as the new norm is concerned, I think it's going to be a huge challenge as the government tries to protect or help everyone. I don't see that the new norm is going to be able to protect everyone. I really believe that eventually everyone is going to get this, because there's no way you can keep it. Logically, I can't find it. If somebody escapes it, well and good. But the shopping center itself has to, and the way we live has to go through a huge transformation. So how we operate the malls, how we keep, parts open, how we keep ourselves away when we are in the food court or in confined places like the cinema. These are huge challenges. How we behave in the retail environment with clothes. Do we try them on? How does it get sanitized? The entire gambit of retail and shopping center and it being an experience. I really fear that we don't take the fun out of it. I really fear that, we don't take the, humans love to interact. For me, coming to a shopping mall and not being able to have coffee with a friend and say, hey, sort of stop spitting at me or stop talking to me or wear a mask. I don't know. These are very tough challenges and I don't have any answers. I'm not looking through a crystal ball.
Sure.
But all of us, we're going to figure it out one way or the other.
So Sanjeev, what part of your mall is still operational?
So we got the hypermarket operational. Now we've got the QSRs doing home delivery. I expect to have by next weekend all the QSRs and some of our fine dining restaurants like Serafina or Indigo and Bombay Brasserie to start home delivery.
And people are coming to the mall for takeaway slowly.
No one is allowed to come to the mall for takeaway.
Okay.
Only for the hypermarket.
Only hypermarket. Okay, Thank you, Sanjeev. Coming to Shibu, Shibu, you have been really on the forefront of this all this business front. So, will you share your current situation there in the mall and how do you see things are moving?
Yes. So we realized on March 24th that this is going to be the new normal. We suddenly understood that we need to ensure that the hypermarket is the only thing, the supermarket is the only thing which is going to be operational. Immediately, we realized that we need to develop an app so that customers can go online and order because obviously the worry was they were not coming out. So we normally used to do 100 deliveries. That deliveries peaked up to 4,500 deliveries. So immediately our staff became drivers. We all became pickers of the orders. So and then immediately we developed the app by the third day so that people could get into the app and order for hypermarket. We signed up with the aggregators Swiggy and Zomatos. So that has been taken care, and we also obviously put all the norms in place. Temperature checks were done. Masks were given, made a norm. Sanitizers were made a norm. So every customer entering hypermarket was asked to wear a gloves when they come in. So social distancing was made a norm. Pandemic team was set up. So all that norms were put up. Then came relaxation in some orders saying that we can open hypermarket, we can open our restaurants. So as of today, 35,000 square feet of restaurants, like close to 10 restaurants are operational for takeaway and delivery. So takeaway is allowed, customers can come and pick up takeaways. So when we looked at the numbers today, for March 24th, as of today, we have done close to 65,000 deliveries here through our mall. And every average, we have visited by close to 9,000 customers. And we realized we put a lot of restrictions on the number of people who can come out by car. We said not more than 2 people should come out. We started announcing on our PA systems that please do not maintain social distancing. We kept a separate counter for the people working in the police force, doctors and everything. So everything was arranged. All our staff actually helped us. As of today, only on Sundays is the day when, as per the order from the Kerala government, everything is shut apart from only the restaurants are allowed to open. Even the hypermarket is shut on Sundays. But in spite of that, yesterday being a Sunday, we had a lot of orders coming in for our restaurants from delivery. So that's the new normal in Kerala. Just wanted to add you that we have a small mall in a place called Tripayar.
Yeah.
In that was a very unique thing, and that was an experience we understood. It's a very old. It's a place where kirana stores are very powerful. But what happened is in the initial days of lockdown, supplies were not happening. So these stores couldn't get the supplies. But we, as a supermarket, we ensured that our team got in, our buyers went out with the vehicles to the harbors to get in fish. Our buyers went to the market, wholesalers to get the things. We supplied from here. The mall is 2 hours journey from here. We went with our vehicles, supplied product there. The customer testimonies are so great here that they said that even though there was a lockdown, we were always at peace because we know that the Lulu store is open. So we knew that we will get all our stuff because we ensured that immediately deliveries were not there in that from that. So if there were a lot of learnings we understood. We started a live loyalty platform. We have a platform where we have 2 lakh members. 24/7, the platform was operational. Customers could always call. At that platform, there was a number given. People were in shifts because people were at home. They could be in shifts taking the calls of customers. We answered. Normally, on a normal month, we normally used to get 2,200 loyalty customers who became loyalty customers of us. We realized that during this time, because the app was the center point of customers going to the link and ordering, 3,500 customers became members. And during this part, and we saw that some of these customers they were coming every alternate day to the supermarket to buy, and their average bill was close to 2,300 rupees. So these are all norms. In the supermarket, what we did is we realized that parents needs a lot of drawing books for kids, carom boards for kids. We put all that in the front so that they don't have to search. We understood that it was a very hot month. They needed a lot of coolers and everything. We kept that in the front. We realized that they might be needing a lot of stuff like from white goods store, which is not operational, but they can order online. So we kept 10 counters in front of the supermarket that they can come there and order. We average used to get every day 133 customers ordering stuff from there. So we did everything possible from our place to ensure that customers are at ease and they don't have any fear of anything.
Very nice. Shibu, you have been working extra hard, I believe. Your team has been working extra hard on these days. And so delighted to know that, you're there to serve the consumers. And the continuity remains because of that, no? Coming to you, Mukesh, in Mumbai, situation is not that good, no?
To say the least, it's not very good.
Yeah.
But let me first thank SCAI for organizing this. This is a great platform, and I think it's reaching most of people from the shopping center. It's got a lot of learning experience for people because there are a lot of shopping centers who are not really in the metro. They don't have so much experience. And with this kind of situation, they need a lot of learnings. So SCAI has put this together and made sure that it reaches to a lot of people, whether it is retailer, a consumer, or the shopping center. Coming back to your question about Mumbai, yes, Mumbai is not in good shape as of now, but I think it's more to do with the number of tests that is being done is much more today. It wasn't there earlier. So number of cases which are going high, maybe it was not there, not coming in the forefront. So it's Mumbai has a larger population, a very different city. The city is very challenging with so much of slums, people staying together, the chawls. So number of cases are really high, and administration is trying very hard to control this. Let's hope they succeed in the next couple of weeks' time. But I think my guess is that it takes a little longer for Mumbai to become normal. If other cities start getting normal by the month end or maybe first week of June, Mumbai may take slightly longer. That's the feeling what we have. Mostly people in Mumbai. In between, few things started. If you remember, the liquor store started. There's a big queue that became the matter worse. Then we had the same issue with the migrants. Again, that made the matter worse. I think government's trying to do something, trial and error. Let's hope that it improves. And as I said, I'm hoping that by June 1st, the second week, we start seeing some action here.
Okay.
I think it's a very different situation here.
Okay.
Maybe because the government never expected things to become so bad. So they reacted a little bit too late. Number two, situation became a little also bad. The most of flights are landing in Mumbai from Middle East and other countries. So people coming to Mumbai is much larger. And that may be the reason also for it to spread and they couldn't be controlled.
So Mukesh, are you still going to office? I am told. And what part of your center is operational? Is any the part of operational?
The mall was never shut.
Okay.
The mall was never shut. We always operational. We have food bazaar and big bazaar both our malls. So they have been operational during the shutdown. And what is good to see is that people coming to the mall, they're behaving, they follow all the protocols, whether it is wearing a mask or social distancing or spending less time in the store. All these things are happening. See, it's like this: when you don't get disciplined, the self-discipline comes on its own. So that's what is happening, whether using the washroom or maintaining the queue line, or telling people that please do not crowd in one place. All these things are happening. Payment by contactless payment, whether it's a Paytm or there's a credit card. All these things are happening. So as I said, the hypermarket is working, and we see good traction. Initially, there was a problem because they didn't have too many supplies. But once the supplies improved, I think they started doing a better job. And the way it was maintained, I don't know how they did that. I have not got into details, but I could see that a lot of crowd during the morning time. It used to be a little longer, but during the afternoon, it started reducing. I think now people got used to it. There are more options available. So hypermarket is operational in both the places.
Okay. Coming to you, Arjun, I mean, what part of your shopping center is working and how are you dealing with it?
Firstly, I'd like to say a very good evening to all, and thanks for having me here. Currently, the hypermarket at Vasant Kunj Mall is operational as of now, and it's seeing a good movement over there, and it's been pretty active over there since the beginning of lockdown 1.
Yeah, lovely. So, I mean, if we have to divide this, I mean, a whole scenario into in months, for example, already this 2.5 months is going into lockdown. So after the lockdown is like lifted, then there will be another period where will be some partial lockdown will be there, in the sense that there is some limitations. Like in Delhi, we are hearing that 33% will be allowed or 50% will be allowed. Though we are requesting the government, SCAI is putting a very brave front and telling that in malls, I mean, there's no point having 33% operational. It should be all operational at the go, because we can control it much better than any other places. So what is your estimate that how much time will it take to come back to 70% business or 80% of the business which we were doing last year?
I would say my assumption will be not more than 3 to 4 months time. May start, let's see, if you look at the entire demography, there are people coming to the malls, there are different categories. Starting from, you can group them into 15 to 35 years old or 40 years old. They're a little more brave. I think they'll start coming faster. Maybe they'll start coming to mall within 2 or 3 weeks time, which constitutes almost 40-45% of total footfall in the mall. Then you have the second category between 45 to 50-55. They may take a little longer. I would say maybe take 6 weeks to 8 weeks to come back to the mall. And people above 60 or 55-60, they may take a couple of months, maybe or 3 months time to come to the mall. It also depends on the categories.
Yeah.
My guess is that your electronics, your home, your fashion may recover faster. FN will take a little longer because people are still a little skeptical. They're not aware over the hygiene of the employees working in those kind of places. FEC and multiplex will definitely take longer. They're not very clear. It's going to start in the very first phase. But other categories, I feel that maybe 2 months or at the most 3 months, they'll come back now.
Yogeshwar, again the same view here. Currently, in this situation, also with respect to hypermarket, we have seen that 60% of the sales are there for us if I compare to the normal. And when I compare the sales of my F&B stores today, I see around 30% happening. So we also feel that strictly that there might be some categories who might be taking some more time to come back. But if you look at the established brands, they will not take more than a couple of months to come back to normal.
Yeah, Sanjeev,
I think F&B would take the lead. I think F&B will not be that restricted. I think people will rush back to the restaurants and want to explore the whole dine and wine experience before shopping.
Yeah, I mean, personally speaking, the cinema and F&B adds a lot of value to the shopping center. I mean, there's no denial. I mean,
it's all about experience now.
I've been the biggest advocate of. Yeah. I've been the biggest advocate as far as restaurants and entertainment is concerned. And I think that's one of the things which differentiates one mall from the other is always going to be F&B experience. I have a little bit of a difference with everyone.
Please.
I find that, we are very important as we have discussed on this demand side. We are the guys who are going to create the demand. Then only the factories are going to produce it. I fear that the government might put so many, India is a speed breaker nation. Yeah. Whenever we are going well, we'll put a speed breaker. So I always fear that the government is going to come up with some stupid idea, like the one we see Mr. Kejriwal do, of 1/3. And some bureaucrat is going to think out of the box, which is going to trip this switch. So I'm a little skeptical about that. I'm not very optimistic when it comes to these bunch of people. They've not done anything for us for the last 70 years. Whatever has been done because of our entrepreneur spirit. But I find that we might find it difficult till October. The thing which is going to be beneficial is, like, say, in Calcutta is the pujas or Christmas or New Year's.
Yeah.
I think if we were 3 months earlier, had this happened, let's say in September, October last year, we would have all been wiped out because we would not have even seen this. Imagine losing November, December, January. I mean, it would have killed every retailer. And then to go through another 9 months,
Yeah.
So, like, I think Kerala might see Onam, is it?
Onam.
Come a little earlier. And then, Maharashtra kicks in with Ganpati and the rest of the country follows suit. So I think the beneficial is my biggest worry, my single biggest worry for retail in India is that marriages are not going to happen in the scale that they have been happening. And if retail sees, I have always said, if marriages stop in India, retail is going to be the biggest sufferer, because just imagine for 5 events, 5 pieces of clothing every woman has to buy. So I'm a little skeptical on all these fronts. I do expect that we should see normalcy closer to November, December.
See, it's all about sentiments. I think once the mall starts opening, the fear factor will start receding. Currently, there are a lot of people are very skeptical. There's a lot of fear in the mind. Once it starts going up, which may take a month and a half, then you start building positive sentiments. Once the sentiments builds, then people start getting into normal operations.
Yeah, but Mukesh, you and me can be positive. The guys who are running it, if they start
we need to look as a consumer. As a consumer, how do you behave? Forget about being a shopping center person or retailer person. Look at yourself as a consumer. What is your thinking? What is your family thinking? What is your friends thinking? Believe me, the people are waiting to get out.
Yeah, I don't.
They just want to get out. Say, boss, sitting at home, whether eating out, watching a movie, or going for shopping, whatever it is. You just need to get out.
I'm not fighting that.
So we need to make sure that people are feeling safe. When they come to a mall, you got to make them feel safe. It's about perception too.
Yeah.
So the protocol that's being introduced, if you start feeling safe, they'll start coming back to you.
Yeah, so there'll be a big role of digital to play in all of this. I think the apps of the malls, the respective malls, I think they'll have a big role to play in this. The people have to, they'll shop smart. They'll come to the mall, particularly buy whatever they have to buy. The app has to supplement their whole shopping process. I mean, if I'm coming to a mall with the app that our mall has, you can particularly select what all you want and take you directly to those stores, making the whole process faster and smarter and safer.
Seamless.
I think the loitering around in the mall will go down for some time.
And I think SCAI also, Yogeshwar, SCAI is developing a video to tell the whole world that, and to comfort the consumers that all the malls are implementing the SOPs. So I think these videos will play a long way, and SCAI is working in the right direction to ensure that we all portray to the consumers that we are safe.
Yeah, so I mean, I completely, not completely, I mean, agree with Sanjeev, but we have to see, I mean, everybody has their own set of problems. Sometimes we do not know what the government is going through. So, I mean, with due respect to that.
Yogeshwar, another thing is that, this, which Arjun mentioned, is a very important thing. That loitering in the mall.
Yeah.
Loitering in the mall is very important for the incremental sale.
I agree with you.
And the worst affected will, the incremental 10, 15, 20% of sale comes from these loiterers. And they are very important.
Yeah, Sanjeev, I have a way of explaining this to my management. What happened? I mean, if there is a girl or a boy of 10-year-old in the mall 10 years ago, roaming in the mall, and he was not relevant, or the girl was not relevant at that point in time. But see, within 10 years, what has happened? Either she became chartered accountant, or got a very good job, or got a boyfriend, or parents paid well. So it's not only for the immediate customers. There is always a customer is evolving all the time, and some people may be irrelevant at this point in time, and the frequency will be a little low. I mean, they will come only once in a while. But the moment they have some occasion at home, they run towards the mall. I mean, it's aspiration for them.
The stickiness of having the mall part of your life. Absolutely.
Yeah, so Arjun, I mean, you rightly said that there's a joke going around in WhatsApp University that who did the digital transformation, CEO like Yogeshwar Sharma or Mukesh, or the COVID or the CTO. I mean, the COVID has got all the votes. It's the COVID has forced.
I would say that COVID provided the incentive, but us as humans will always take the first step towards evolution of ourselves.
I completely.
We are the ones who will invent things. The necessities can be something else, but at the end of the day, it's humans who invent newer ways to get out of the problems we have.
Yeah, but most of the shopping center people, they were not investing. They were not going all hog on investing in the digital side of it. They were hesitant. I mean, they were still making budgets and how much.
I think we got a good incentive to do that now.
Yeah.
Everyone will be going for it now. And I think it's good for the shopper also.
Yogeshwar, I just want to add you. Yeah, we just were looking at the bills. Because of the loyalty program, we have customers submitting the bills, and we saw that these customers are coming back to us, every 2 weeks. Though they can buy and stock it themselves for the next 15 to 20 days, but they are coming. So it's a habit. They like to come back to the mall. They like to go stand at the McDonald's, which is open today, and takeaway is happening. They like that experience.
Yes. The Lulu Mall has that space. But who wants to be locked into a confined space? No. As I said, social animal. That's why, I can't understand, why they would say that. But we all understand why. It's because you don't want it to spread. But this is the whole aspect that you want people out.
Yes, that is why
the behaviors don't change. Okay, the behaviors don't change in 2 months' time. Behaviors will remain the same. The way you do things may be a little different. The general behavior will not change. If you have to go to the mall, you go to the mall. Now you have to wear mask and go. It's a different thing altogether. You have to take precaution, different thing altogether. But you will still go to the mall because that's a habit. That's a place you spend your time. Yes, shopping or window shopping or just eating or just being there.
Yeah.
But also, Mukesh, people are losing their salaries. They are going to be hit on all those fronts. But I still do believe if they have that money, they are going to come and spend it to the mall. So that's the positive side.
Sanjay, look at the other aspect also of this. In the next few months, I don't think there's going to be much of traveling. In last 2.5 months, so that means people have money in the pocket. In the last 2 months, where have you spent money? So eating food, the basic food, that we have money in the pocket anyway. Sure. And most of these malls, they are little premium category. Of course, there are value brands too. So that means people have money to spend. So in fact, you'll be surprised that they'll be even shopping.
Yeah.
Because have not shopped for so many months.
They already have a list ready, and they
absolutely.
Yeah.
So she was been WhatsApping them. Get your list ready.
Chibu, in your estimate, you are definitely, seeing that consumers are already started coming. Coming back to the normal, 80% of the previous year. Do you agree? You said that 3 months will be a good time period. I'm repeating that.
Yeah. 3 months will be definitely a good period because what we understand is that in the 3 months of the mall becoming operational, there are 100% chances of every aspect of the mall, cinemas, FEC, everything becoming operational. So I believe that that's a good period to. The cinema and FEC also are a very important factor to keep the crowd buzzing. So I think everything will become operational. Everything will become normal by that time.
Yeah. So Mukesh, I was studying the change curve. Whenever some change happens and such change which is unprecedented. So first stage is the shock, and denial. People deny that things will not happen. And then slightly they start bargaining, and then the bargaining doesn't happen. The anger sets in. and then people get frustrated, and then we start exploring the new situation. So I feel in our industry also we have reached that stage that we are not denying that new normal. We are not in a shock situation now. We are getting prepared for the new normal, and exploration and acceptance has set in. So one thing which is like most important for all the shopping centers is the retailer partnerships.
Correct.
So this one especially, I mean, for Arjun and Gehlot, that I mean, how do we take them along, or they take along? I mean, both are the same sides of the coin. So how do you deal with how are you dealing with the retailers' expectations?
See, for now, I think that is one of the most important aspects that we have to do. And I think it is critical that we pay the most amount of attention to our retailers also, because, they've supported us through the thick and thin, and we also have to support them through thick and thin. But
it's
the question is, what comes to my left hand has to go to my right hand. So basically, if we get enough support from our financial on our financial obligations, I think we can also extend that support to our retailer fraternity, and we have to. But it's just that everyone has their own fixed financial costs, and everyone has to manage it according to their own structure. See, there's no one size fits all approach that can happen. So, and as we are on a first name basis with every retailer, I think, so we have to connect with them. We have to sit down with them. We have to discuss everyone's problem and find a solution that fits their approach. There can't be one solution for all.
Very good, very good. I mean, really delighted to know that. Shibu, and you have any other opinion on this? You want to add something here?
What we understood the problem, and for all our retailers for the month of April, obviously no one could. We didn't charge them. We waived off the rentals. Now we understand everyone's problem. We are discussing with everyone individually. I must say, we told everyone that let's focus on that, but we also have we have to focus on ensuring that the mall is open. And every other aspect of this we'll discuss individually with each and everyone, and ensure that it's an amicable situation, because the pain is at both the sides, and they understand that. And as you rightly said, that they've also understood it's not that this their pain, it's the pain of the mall also.
So Mukesh,
Yogesh, I'll add something to it. If you remember when we started talking about this, when there's a shutdown, first 2 weeks, nothing happened. Everybody was keeping very quiet. Then people start getting little, panicky. What's happening? How mall is going to behave? How retail is going to behave? There's a lot of talk about this. So there's restlessness from both the sides, whether it is developer or the retailer, both. So we are talking different languages. But I think by the end of April, the first week of May, people started realizing we need to sit together, we need to work together. So demands came down, expectations came down from both the sides. One must understand it's not a problem which is created by any of us. It's a problem, we need to accept it. We need to understand how do we handle this. It can't be one size fits all. There are different leases, there are different relationships. Each mall has its own challenge. Basic thing is that most of malls, they have LRD, they have to service debt. That's the fact. At the same time, retailers, they also have no earning. That also is the fact that also you can't change. Now, all these formulas will evolve slowly. As it is today, what we started 3 weeks back and what we are today, things are changing. People are understanding, their formulas are evolving, people are exploring new things, they're looking at restructuring. So all these things are happening, and it will all depend on the structure, on the relationship, and how each person has their relationship with each other.
Sure.
It'll not be that let's do this, this is mine. It has to be collaboration with both the party, because we need to survive together. We need to sail together. If you don't do this, it's a doomsday for both the parties.
Sanjeev, you have any different point of view?
Actually, the biggest guys to rake up all these issues was the media. So all the media wanted the masala stories, and let's have the retailers going against the mall.
Media prompting them.
And there were guys who were spiking it from both sides. So it's not that only all of us are above water. But I did explain to the media that, listen, we are very mature people sitting and doing hundreds of crores worth of business with each other. We are not stupid people. We are paying huge amount of taxes and revenues. Without a retailer, a mall is nothing. And if the mall is not there, then the retailer coming together is also nothing.
Yes.
There is definitely pain for them, as Mukesh has said, and all of us are saying, and there is pain for us. I mean, listen, who likes to lose their whole entire revenue? I mean, we have to be practical. We also have to survive.
Yes.
So, as you rightly put it, shock, denial, all this natak notanki, finally everyone has said, boss, what is the path forward? And the challenge is not what has happened during lockdown. The challenge is actually when it opens.
Yes.
So they also realize, ki, boss, if this is hack it on my head every day, if I am not on a pure RS, I am dead in the water. So he needs the mall guys more than he needs. So I think there is a balance. All of them have understood there is no free pass, no free lunch.
Yeah.
Everyone is coming, and most of them have agreed also. Okay, let's work out a working relationship.
Yeah. So the major issue is that common issue is that we bring back the consumer. So how do we bring back the consumer? I mean, retailer and the shopping centers together. And
I want to talk about it actually from the technology side, which is everyone has said making you very safe. Mukesh said, let us make everyone safe. Shibu said, Arjun has said, you are saying. I think technology is going to help us a long way. As I told you, I don't know which idiot in the government is going to come up with what theory to trip us. But we are going to be sort of prepared. So if they say, at Quest, I was probably the first one in the country to have automated parking. All of you all have been, you all have seen.
Yes.
At that time, they said that, why are you investing so much money? Today, a contactless payment of your car parking is going to become the norm. I think most of us are putting it in the malls.
Absolutely.
So that is something which we preempted because of some other reason. Because of, we have a very small, tight mall. So you want to make payment. You don't want to bring everybody to make payment at one place.
Clear.
Like this in the app, now I've been sharing with you all when we've been discussing. If the government says you're only allowed to bring so many thousand people in a day, we are actually going to go and make our app, which is now a sizable amount. You can pre-book your visit. You can decide that I want to come to the mall. Thereby, you will generate a QR code, a ticket, something which we shall have ready. So if the government says, you can only have so many people coming to the mall, I think technologically we have to be prepared. Last 2 days of what I've seen, what they've done in Bangkok, my favorite place in the world for Mecca for retail. I mean, they are so far ahead of us. I mean, I was so impressed by the way Icon Siam and Siam Paragon have gone and facilitated for their customers, from the sanitizing to their shoe sanitizing. I mean, God, we are nowhere compared to these guys. And yet, we are putting all of that into place, with your scanners. So we are going to work very hard with technology to help us to ensure that everyone is safe. You see, more than that, there's nothing more we can do.
Sanjeev, clear. So Mukesh, there is one rumor which is doing the rounds that contained spaces are not, not conducive for this kind of environment, the air conditioning levels and all that. So I want to bring in the SCAI guidelines here. The SCAI has put together, along with the help of all the developers, that what are the guidelines and in line with the ISHRE guidelines or the relevant applicable guidelines. So would you like to speak about air conditioning issues in the malls?
Sure. I think we must understand this virus doesn't spread through air. It's not airborne virus at all. It's only through contact. So this theory itself that you have an air conditioner can go to spread virus, it's a wrong assumption to make. Now, there are some precautions that needs to be taken. Not that it is harmful. AC can work the way it is. There's absolutely no problem. But you can take certain precautions. What are those precautions? Number one, you have to increase the treated fresh air by 30 to 40%. What you're drawing, you need to increase by 30-40% as an additional precautionary measure. Not that it's mandatory, but you can do that. Make it more safe. You feel it more safer. Number two, the exhaust in the bathrooms must run almost 24 hours, at least 18-20 hours beyond your normal hours. Your mall is working 10 to 12 hours, add another 6 hours to operate. Number three, your temperature. It must be maintained between 24 to 30 degrees, and most of the malls do maintain the same kind of temperature.
It's the same.
Anywhere between plus minus 1 or 2 degrees. Before operating the mall, you need to clear all your filters, which anyway malls do on regular basis. And if you do your filter cleaning once in 15 days, maybe you'll have to do it once in a week. If you take all these precautions, this absolutely safe. Even today, if you look at all the office complexes, they all work with air conditioning. Even the government themselves, they ran the trains with what? All air conditioned train only.
Yeah.
And you can trust the railways compartments with that AC. You can't trust the mall AC.
No, I mean, definitely.
I mean, it's ridiculous to think about it.
I mean, we are much better. I mean, in this position to.
So they say, let me put this to complete rest. AC is absolutely not an issue at all. And this is not only I'm saying this. Yeah. This done by the authorities. This the organization called ISHRE, they have recommended, and it is accepted by CPWD, which is Central Trade. It is approved by CPWD, which is a government agency. Not only this approved, they've recommended to almost everybody that use the same guideline, which I've just narrated.
Lovely. And there is one, I was going through these guidelines, and there is a guideline on the distance to be maintained. What is it? I couldn't get the logic of the distance. I mean,
I'll explain that logic to you. See, what we have done, besides that social distancing 1.5 meter, we have taken as a norm that each 75 square feet can take one person. Yeah. So let's see, you have 1 million square feet of mall, and you are going to take around 5,000 employees work in the mall, including the retailers and the mall employees. Now you divide this in two parts. So let's say around, when you say the staff is going to be 50%, you talk about around 200, 2,000, 2,500 people are going to be there in the mall at any given time from the employee and the retailer side. So how many people can you take? When you say 75 square feet, then you divide this. Say if it is a 1 million square feet mall, then you can take up to 15,000 people at any given time.
Yeah. And anyway,
out of those 15,000, you take out the mall employees and retail employees, then you can take up to 10,000 people at any given time. Yeah. The rationale for 75 square feet is this. You saying that social distancing 1.5 meters, so you say you require 36 square feet for one person.
Yeah.
Add the similar number for your common areas and the retail stores, your shelves, your counters. So add 36 plus 36 makes 70. So I rounded this up to 75. That's the rationale and the logic for this.
Lovely. Thank you so much for clarifying these numbers, and giving us the confidence on that air conditioning issue, which was doing the rounds. Also, I mean, Shibu, you must have come across one WhatsApp, in the mall, some shoes have gone wrong, and depending upon the choice of the consumer, they have put the name of the mall. Somebody has written some mall, and somebody has written some mall. But in my experience at CityWalk, we permitted all the retailers to come in between and take care of the merchandise and clean it up. And there's no such issue in the mall, I believe. And any experience on that?
There is absolutely no issue. It's a WhatsApp generated in Malaysia. It is not from India. It is all to create a wrong impression of our retail and the malls. All the shopping malls I know are running their air conditioning in the common areas every alternate day. And like you rightly said, we are in touch with all our retailers who are coming every week, and we have developed SOPs. We've taken it from SCAI. We've developed retail SOPs. We also developed videos to tell retailers what to do. So everyone is using filter cleaning solutions of Huasan, which is of Thermax, and cleaning the filters, and ensuring that everything is there. Air conditioning is, they're coming and putting on the air conditioning. So this situation is, not happening in any of our shopping malls in India.
So Arjun, I mean, coming to you, so shopping centers are safest places, in your opinion?
I would agree. I would strongly agree on that, looking at the way that we can control our entries, looking at how sanitized the malls are. And looking at the amount of effort our housekeeping teams and the security teams put in and running the mall in a normal day only, I mean, that's commendable. You look at it at this time when the guards are going under training of how to deal with situations. We are on the flip side, but actually they're trying to see on how to manage fire drills in this kind of a scenario. It's a security thing that everyone has to think to. The malls have to think about that. The high streets don't have to think about that. The malls are prepping on, let's say, if there's an untoward incident of a fire in the mall, how do you still manage the crowd in this kind of an environment? So it's a very tricky thing with the malls, and I think every mall is putting in a lot of work and a lot of brainstorming into how to get back to normal and how to make it a good environment for the customers to come into.
Yeah.
So Yogesh, let me add one more thing here. Most malls have a hypermarket or a grocery store.
Yeah.
They've been operating past 2.5 months now.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard anything going wrong in the malls?
No,
we have not.
No.
The way it is beautifully maintained, that itself tells you that they're a safe place to do your business. Whether for the customer, for the retailer, for the employees, that's the safest place, because this absolutely the way it is been maintained.
Yeah. So Arjun, I mean, you did touch upon the technology side of it, but if you have to just quickly say a couple of initiatives, I mean, to give the consumer confidence that, I mean, the malls are safe. So you will be doing the tunnels at the entry, or you will be measuring the temperature.
We're currently exploring the tunnels and how to use the tunnels, because there was some incidents that had happened regarding how to use the tunnel. Earlier, people did not use goggles while going into the tunnel. So we're trying to see on how to formulate that. We're trying to see how to even give the car a quick wash when they come into the parking, and that the requirement of PPEs, gloves, temperature scanning at the entry of the mall.
Yeah.
So all of that is being looked into, especially even for the food courts. Well, everyone is saying that they'll open up a later time, but we're still seeing on how social distancing can be followed in food courts. We're sitting with the F&B outlets and brainstorming on how to divide the areas into, let's say, cubicles, so as to ensure that there is adequate safety measures that are being adhered to by the guidelines that will be set.
Yeah, Shibu, I mean, you are already using the app very frequently, and you're using that app to the best of its ability. Any other measures, I mean, with regard to bringing back the consumer confidence?
So basically, with respect to the safety, we've ensured that we are sanitizing every wheel of every vehicle coming into the mall, and we have put mist sprayers at the car park entry. So that is happening. We are ensuring that the disinfectant mat is placed at the entry so that people walk over it, and so that's giving customers a lot of confidence. We have ensured that across the mall, on the escalators, on the elevator, on the travelators, we have social distancing marks are placed. Plus, for the food court retailers, what we have done is we have tied up with an operator who can ensure that customers can order their food without going to the counter. They can sit at the food court table, wherever they are, scan a QR code by giving the WhatsApp number. The entire menu of the food court of all the operators come in their phones, and through the phones and through they can do all the payments. They get the bills, they get the order numbers, and it's only at the time when the order is ready they can either pick it up, or if they want, the food can be delivered to them on the table. So we are working out apps, and also we are working out on a local market app, like what Arjun said, that every retailers, if they sign up with them, every retailer's products are displayed. Customers can pre-order everything, and they just come to the mall, and the arrangement with the mall management gets to do. They can just ensure that the products are transferred in a locker, which is placed at the adequate place in the mall, and customers can just come and pick it up by giving the OTP. So we are just making it life simple for consumers, and especially we all know that 20% of our customers give us 80% of our business. So these HNI customers who might be worried, but they still can shop from their favorite shop for cosmetics and everything else. So the mall management understands their worries, and we are trying to add that as a comfort factor for these consumers.
Lovely.
At our place, what I'll just like to add, at our place, what we also do is we have a home delivery of goods to the customer's house. So what we can add to do is maybe you can sanitize the product before sending it to their house. So just, they have to feel safe. They have to feel safe shopping there.
Yeah, home delivery is becoming a new normal. I mean, now from the mall.
So they can come to the mall, shop for it, and will sanitize the product and send it to their house.
Yeah. Sanjeev, I mean, you also mentioned about the technology. Anything you want to add? How are you, gearing up for the new normal?
I think as far as taking all the precautions, making sure everything is sanitized, we are all on the same platform. Mukesh has shared some of the ideas we've had is common. I really believe that the person who's coming in needs to feel safe.
Yeah.
And the confidence. And for that, I think it's also the most important thing that this 2 months has taught us is the discipline. We are the most indisciplined country in the world.
Yeah.
We have suddenly met the new norm, which is you are disciplined. It's very heartening to note that we have acted in a disciplined manner, but it's a necessity.
Yeah, it's a
and I think the the law is working as an iron hand on this, and that is why the discipline. So when you come into the mall to sanitize your experience, I now will say that we really need to sanitize the experience.
Yeah.
So your bag, yourself, your shoe, how you behave, your social distancing. It is really about sanitizing his experience to bring the confidence back. But I have no qualms that, all the technology in the world cannot take away from the fact that you are going to sit down and have a beer with your friend or a drink with them.
Yes.
So eventually, as they say, the Sharabis are going to hold the economy up. So,
Yogesh, what has happened in the past 2.5 months' time? People are getting used to all this. Whether it is wearing a mask, keeping social distance, is going to become a norm. If you remember, after 26/11, what happened in Mumbai, we started checking all the customers, their vehicles. We started putting those detectors and those scanners. Initially, there was a lot of reluctance. People used to be very unhappy about this.
Yes.
It became a norm within 3 or 4 months' time.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely no complaint. People got used to it. They said that's the way the life goes on. Same thing is going to happen in the mall also. And number two, consumers also experience that, they have to wait for their own safety. So rather than we going after them, they understand on their own that it's better they keep distance, they wear a mask and sanitize themselves. So I think it's going to become a norm, become a way of life. So we don't have to chase anyone. Of course, we have technology, you got camera, everything is there to monitor all this. I don't think you need to change. Even today, even you go to a slum area, you can see people wearing a mask.
Yes.
You don't have to tell them. You don't have to, even the rickshaw wears a mask today. He understands for their own safety.
Yes.
So consumers also getting educated. Sorry?
One of the reasons where they said that the reason that it did not spread so much in Japan, you can see in Tokyo how they are on top of each other. Because most of the people wear masks anyway. You know what I mean?
It's a kind of way of life there.
Part of their culture. So I'm saying that is the new norm.
Yeah.
I need to bring back Namaste, very important.
I can't breathe with it. I'm going to have a very difficult time.
Okay, so the SCAI guidelines are available. This is a very lengthy, very comprehensive document, like
fantastic document,
45-50 document. It's available, and anybody, any shopping center who is not part of the shopping center association, I'll request them to become part quickly of the Shopping Center Association of India. And now there are so many advantages of being together. In management, they were used to teach us TEAM, team, together everyone achieves more. And so first time I have utilized that. When we are all together, then it's much easier. And a huge responsibility on SCAI to advocate that we should be allowed to open. One part is definitely that we need some benefits in terms of maybe a discount on property tax or a moratorium period, and that continues. But the first and the foremost point now, it has become that the mall should be allowed to open. And it is much easier. We can give this confidence on behalf of all the shopping center owners that it is all professionally managed, and malls are in a much better situation to handle the crowds, to do the social distancing and implement the protocols as advised by SCAI or as advised by any state government or the center government. Now we'll take up some questions before we
I just want to share that there's a really good news for all the customers to bring them back.
Yes.
I just want to add 2 lines before we go to questions here.
Yeah.
The SCAI, why it is so important? Let me tell you the experience what I have when I was doing these SOPs. The information what I received, of course, there's a small committee to make this SOP. I had help from DLF, then we have help from Nexus, other malls. And the information what I gathered from different people, whether it's international practices, other mall practices, it was huge. So today the SOP that has been prepared, it's a handiwork of more than 200 years of experience.
Yes.
And what is the international thing? So, what you get from SCAI it really gives you so much information, so much knowledge, so much advocacy. I think I really encourage people to join SCAI because this is a wonderful platform. And what has happened in the past 1.5 months' time, it's really something which we should be proud of.
And it's a one platform to talk, finally, which I've been fighting, that we need one platform to talk to the government. We are not an industry. When you're part of putting so much back into the government's coffers, we've really not had one organization to talk on behalf of us to the government. So I think this is very, very important, and SCAI has done a fantastic job. But just to fill up, The good part is when the mall opens, everybody is going to be on a 50% discount to get rid of everything. I think that's going to be the best marketing thing that's going to happen.
Yeah, Sanjay, I mean, we are in touch with retailers, and they're all saying that who blinks first. I mean, nobody wants to go on discount first, but they have stocks. They want to liquidate the stocks so that, I mean, they can create liquidity in the system.
I think the customers are going to benefit on this one big time.
Yes. So, I mean, now is the time for questions. I mean, anybody, we have some questions here.
You want to go through them as club them into few questions? And
basically, I mean, we have tried to cover most of these, I mean, the points. But for example, some people have asked that what about the multiplex and the F&B? So as shopping center professionals, we are really, I mean, wanting them to open as soon as possible along with the non-essential units. But it is going to take some time. That's what we believe. Multiplex Association of India is also an NRAI also following it up with the government that they should not be excluded from this list, and they should also be included as soon as possible. I mean, though we have to respect that jaan hai to jahan hai, but we have to, but as soon as we are able to open, we should be able to open.
See, with people sitting in fixed locations, it's okay that the multiplexes can open. I think social distancing can be followed very conveniently over there.
So I think they're also ready to open. I think they also have their own SOPs. They're very stringent SOPs. So they are ready. I think it's the government has to take that call, and they'll do this internationally. That's what they have done. They created that distance. In fact, if you look at China, they started the theater much earlier, before even the mall stuff, the high street started.
Yeah, but they shut it down
with all the protocols. No, that's for a different reason altogether. That's for a different reason, because they didn't have content.
Okay.
Nothing with the government regulations.
They didn't have the content.
They didn't have the content. It's nothing to do with the distancing.
Oh, it was not for the distancing. I thought it was for the second wave or something.
No, that happened.
They didn't have the content.
They didn't have the content. That's why they have to shut down.
So
it was a commercial call.
There's one question to all the panelists that somebody has posted that why don't the mall start charging an entry fee so that we control the number of people can come in and only the relevant ones will come into the mall.
And who's that? That's
wonderful
terrible.
idea.
I think that's discriminatory.
Awful idea. Awful.
That's very discriminatory in the beginning.
I have heard this from the start of Quest, and it is racist. At that time, it was a racist idea. But now it is, I hate this idea. Terrible.
No, Sanjay, I don't think I'll disagree with this at all, because this is being done for different purpose altogether. You need to get genuine back. Today, if you have to control a footfall, how are you going to control it?
That's what I'm saying. There is other ways to control it, Mukesh. You can have a pre-book. You can have that. You don't need to do it with money.
Sanjay, you're not charging. Yes, it's a cover charge. You get it reimbursed.
No. This is the whole idea. Is that I hate paying 1 rupee cover charge. My DNA does not allow me to pay.
I don't think so. North Indian people would appreciate it at all.
Arjun, what's your point of view? I mean, I missed that point. Yeah, Arjun.
Delhi and Haryana people will revolt against it. I will not support that.
What about Kerala, Shivu?
No, because basically what happens here is in a mall it is not that only fashion buying happening. In a supermarket, everyone from all walks of society comes and shops there. So it will not be. It's absolutely right. They will not be able to afford to pay that, because their buying might only be for that vegetable part. So it will not be conducive for the entire sector. You can
even if it's adjusted in the shop.
It's a cover charge, Shibu. I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just looking at how are you going to control this. So this you're going to basically are looking at people who wants to really shop in your place.
When we were
charging, not a big amount.
When we were charging for parking, we had such a hue and cry, and I'm sure that there were state government who gave out GOs to say that you can't charge for 30 rupees for parking, and you're talking about now this.
That's with people who had cars, and they are driving Mercedes in and saying I'm parking nahi dega. Come on, yeah. But good one, Mukesh, somewhere or the other, you're trying to pick up extra income, which is now one of the questions was what about the other income? I said, okay.
No, it's not about
it is not income.
It's not about the other income.
This was being discussed earlier. filtering the crowd. It's not about income.
Sir,
When you can only take certain number of people, how do you differentiate?
Yes.
It has a very negative connotation. For malls, it will have a very negative connotation.
There are pros and cons. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you. There are pros and cons. You'll have to really debate.
I think there are better ideas how to limit people coming into the mall. That's
Sure.
See, I'll tell you what happened, Yogeshwar. What the Dubai government has done is they said that you cannot open out the parking. You can only open 50% of the parking. They have said that So I think we also can limit ourselves to many of these things and then ensure that we get less customers. I'm again telling you the fact that there will be such a limitations. There will be so much thing that it will not be that too many customers also will come in.
I agree with Shibu because your cinema is not open. Your cinemas and food create a expolative footfall. That will go down. If I can't go to the coffee shop and get a coffee, how long do you think I want to stay in the mall for?
For sure.
Honestly, if you ask me, if I can't get a bottle of water, how long am I going to stay in the mall for?
That's why, Sanjeev, the first and the foremost is like as I mentioned that SCAI, RAI, Multiplex Association of India, NRAI, all have to get together to allow the malls to open in full. And then let's see. And second, there's another serious question which is coming up again and again is that some of the retailers are losing hope and they really want to giving the notices during the lockdown period only, and they want to run away. So the lady is asking, shall we give them confidence to wait for a while, or do we give in to the despair?
Answer for me. So it's very simple. According to me. There are people whose backs have been broken. And I'm sure a lot of malls are going to go under as well because they are not going to be able to pay. A lot of the retailers are going to bully a lot of the malls also. See, if you have not run your business efficiently and you are not able to survive this also, let's say for 2 months, it is possible. Now, there are a lot of people, whatever you tell them, they are not going to survive. Even if you give them whatever help, going forward, as I tell you again, it's not these 2 months. It's the next 6 months.
Yes.
And the next 6 months, if you cannot see yourself in the next few months, it's going to be annihilation for them. So I think there are a lot of retailers. There are 4 retailers already given us notices, which is fair enough because, again, opportunities also come. We also need some people to go. We need to redo stores. We need to bring different people in. So I think this is part and parcel of any business. So I don't see it as a problem. But I'm telling you, save the F&B guys. The F&B guys are critical. We have to save them.
Mukesh, the model may change. I think the model may change a bit. There are a lot of franchisee run stores. They may become part company, part franchisee. All these models will change. They also may require, the franchise may need support from the company. They may have to share the rent. All these new models will evolve, which is not there currently. So I think, even today, you're talking about a particular retailer that in case they have given up hope. My suggestion, hold on for some more time. If you think you have the finance, you'll be able to manage it, I think you should hold on some time. It's just a matter of time. You've gone through the real bad phase. I think matter of another few more weeks, things will bounce back. I think business may take a little longer, it will become normal. Rather talk to your brand partners, see if they can support you. If you look at, one of the malls, I just read in newspaper, I think, was it in US or China, I don't know which country, the mall guys invested, put in some $5 billion to support the retailers. So what they have done, they're buying stake in retail companies. So a lot of these things will come up. You don't know.
So, one question, Shibu is coming again and again is that people will lose some people will lose their jobs and they will be fearful in spending. So we have already answered in a way that because there's a counterpoint of that, people will not be able to travel abroad and they will save huge money on travel, summer vacations and all that. So it will all end up spending in the mall.
So no money in the pocket.
And can we safely say that the business will come back to normal by Diwali? And
Yogeshwar, what happened in 2008 was the same thing. When the recession happened, also many people lost their jobs. There was a lot of pressure on the mall and the retailers also. But we managed to come back to it because I'll tell you what happens. The demand will come back. People will find jobs option. So it is the next, once we open the mall, it is the next 3 to 6 months. I think things will normalize. And the people who lost their jobs will also find it back.
Yeah. Arjun, I mean, your point of view on that?
See, I think we have a very young population and a very young demographic. And I think their saving anyways is less than what earlier it used to be. I think they do spend, and yes, there will be instances where people will be losing their jobs, but I think an equilibrium will still be reached. Economics is all that. There will be demand in the market.
Arjun, your thing is shaking.
There is some pent-up demand for the past 50 days that have been there. So I think it will come back. People will come back to shop. People will have to shop for the summers anyway. Last people went out it was proper winters in North India at least. March it was people just did their winter shopping. So now people will come out for the summer shopping.
Yeah, and our indications are very nice. I mean, right, because as Mr. Sanjeev Mehra mentioned, from Bangkok and other places, wherever the malls are opening, I mean, we are seeing good traction. So we hope to follow.
Telling you, people will come back for F&B first. People will come back to the new food and the different cuisines that they were so used to before. I mean, earlier weekends used to be jam-packed at the malls. So people will come back for the experience.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah. So, I mean, anybody wants to, any closing remarks by, like Sanjeev, you want to, any closing remarks? We have only 5-7 minutes left now.
I just wish everybody to stay safe, and I wish everybody a really good time when they start. And I think it's very important from SCAI's perspective that they should push for everyone. There are a lot of jobs, nobody wants to lose any jobs. And I think the cinemas, the F&B, everything should be allowed to start. And I'm sure we are very responsible and we'll do the right thing.
Yeah. Thank you, Sanjeev. Any Mukesh from your side?
Yeah, I think SCAI is doing a good job in pushing the government to open the mall. And I just want them to continue this. And I also work with the state government where we can get some waiver. We need some relief. We have gotten a lot of states, some states we haven't got. You need to keep working on this so that, at least they have some kind of breather. Otherwise, it's going to be real tough for the developers as well. And keep working with the state government, central government to open the mall as soon as possible. Maybe in the first phase itself.
Clear. Shibu?
Yeah. So again, thanks to SCAI for doing all the effort to going to the government and advocating for all our needs. We need a lot of support, and then only we can actually support our retailers also. And also, end of the day, the demand, which is one of the pillars of the Prime Minister's speech, can happen. And then, end of the day, the economy can revive, and a lot of these jobs can happen. But basically, I just want to be very clear that all the malls, we have a strict SOP. We are very clear in implementing all the SOPs. We are strict in that, and customers can absolutely be safe in it. Retailers can be actually confident that the customers will come back to the malls as soon as it's open. So it will be a tough first 3 months period, but I think everything will come back to normal after that.
Lovely. Thanks, Shibu. Arjun, you're done. Any closing remarks?
See, I would say that, we're face to face with the evolution of our ways, and we'd have to learn the new ways of, having social distancing of being a part of our life. We have to learn how to live with COVID. It's not going anywhere for some time now, but I think this platform that, we all are sharing all these ideas, helping the evolution process, improving the process of the customers, easing it for them, easing it for the retailers, and being communicated to them, and just telling them to, all of us are in the same boat. We all need to hang on, and we all need to hope for the best.
Yeah.
And Yogesh, last comment. As a community, shopping center and the retailers have to work together to reach out to as many people as possible. I think as a community, we have enough database to let people know that malls are a very safe place to shop. We may have to do a joint campaign to reach out to many people. Today, there's a lot of people are skeptical about stepping out from the house. So it'll really help our cause to reach out to people if we do it together. Do a joint campaign so it reaches to everybody, because the database what we have is humongous. Between retailers and a shopping center both put together. If we make our efforts together, it's going to give us good results, and quickly we'll get results.
No, I just want to add there, Mukesh. What happened is, when the lockdown started, we had around 4,200 customers coming to our, only to shop in our supermarket. We started a lot of online campaigns every day, informing customers about what is open today. We started talking to consumers. Today, we have 12,000 people coming to the mall. So it's increased 3 times. So it is a fact that if we just ensure that customers have been conveyed the message that everything is safe here and what is there, I think customers will come back.
Yeah. So just to summarize, I mean, the consumer is ready. We need to build the confidence to bring him back to the mall. They are ready to spend. They are willing to come out. We have to ensure that we follow the protocols laid down by SCAI and given by the government, so that they feel safe. Second point that we have to advocate very, very strongly with the government bodies, that the malls are safer places, so we should be allowed to open. And then, as Sanjeev clearly said, that unless we work on the demand side, I mean, how the supply side will work. I mean, the moment there is a consumer in the place, then retailers are able to sell, and then the liquidity comes into place. And most of us underestimate, not from the shopping center industry, but other people sometimes do underestimate the power of shopping centers. The economic power which brings by a shopping center to a locality is huge. I mean, look at the number of people employed, and all shopping centers have respected the employment contracts. So we have not even one person has been taken off the job.
5,000 direct people work in a mall. Yeah, I mean, yes. It's bigger than any factory, yeah.
Yeah, and it's only the direct one. I mean, there's so much
direct.
Indirect employment, and
direct
so many indirect associated ancillary businesses attached with the shopping center.
Absolutely.
So we request SCAI to continue their efforts, and whatever government decides, odd or even, or to limit the number of people, we understand their concern that it should not be a community spread. But at the same time, unless we try it, and we will try it with full confidence and with full protocols in place, so that things do not go beyond control. And even if something goes wrong, we are able to control that within immediate measures. So with this brings us to the close of today's session, fourth virtual roundtable webinar. I'm really delighted to be part of it. Thank you very much, all 4 of you and all the participants. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.